I've been making my game for the last 2 months, and honestly, I've learned a lot. I never really made a game before this, so this is my first one. I made a few prototypes, and I'm not the best at coding, and I'm not the best at art, but I'm pretty happy with what I got so far. So I wanted to make a video just kind of explaining about what I did so far and where I am with my project. Hey, welcome to the Devlog. My name is Seth, and I am working on my dream game. I'm making a roguelite with the working title name as Finality. If you guys have any questions or comments about the game, leave them in the comments below. So welcome to the Devlog part 3. So I've been up to a lot over the past 2 months, and honestly, this project has been a big learning curve. Over my last 2 devlogs, a lot of the stuff that I got into was basically character movement, animations, art, the coding behind it, and I've been conceptualizing a lot of the game and the design that I want to put into it. So now I'm starting to actually implement some of it, and it's feeling pretty good. And then, honestly, I'm very proud of myself. But I still have a long way to go. So let's start about one of the mechanics I added to the game. I added rolling. Now I don't actually have any animations for it yet, but I made the mechanics behind it kind of work. So right now I added the ability to move faster so you can evade attacks. There's still a bug behind it, but I'm working on that and that'll soonly be patched out. As for the art behind the game, I started working on enemies, friendly NPCs. I even made new rooms and new art for rooms. I have a lot of stuff that I haven't implemented in terms of art yet, and that's okay. I'm kind of sitting on the art, but I know eventually I'm going to go back through and kind of redo things and polish things in terms of my art, because I am improving as I go along on this project. But for right now, I'm actually pretty happy with what I have. Some of the art that I made was, I made this water asset, and I didn't actually add any animation to it, but I do plan on adding a sort of crashing in animation. I never really made a water asset before, but I did find some inspo online, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. I ended up making a torch and a fire animation just to make the room feel more alive, and I think it adds a lot to the game. And over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've been working a lot on just kind of the combat behind the game. So there's 2 main mechanics that I want to add, and one mechanic is really focusing on the combat and making sure it feels intuitive and it feels good when you're fighting people. So I've been just battling some bugs and making sure my system works for a little bit over a week. And then the other mechanic that I'm still on the fence about is this interacting mechanic with the environment. I want you to be able to interact with puzzles in different rooms. So picking up a box and putting it on a switch across the room. So I've been trying to figure out in my head on how I want that mechanic to work. I don't know if I'm going to keep it in the game just yet, but I have bits and pieces of it working. But I'm still battling some bugs with that, and I'm a little undecided on how I feel about it. So if you have any comments about that, let me know. I wrapped up my combat, and I feel pretty confident in it. I'm very happy with where it is. There's definitely some polish that I need to add to it in terms of hitting and being hit from the enemy. But where it is, I'm pretty happy with the amount of work that I've been putting in over the last week, getting it to work. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty much where I am over the last 2 months of working on my dream game. I know it's not a lot of work, but I am doing this on the side as a hobby, so I think I made quite a bit of progress for myself. I know it's not a lot to show for a game that I've been working on for the past 2 months, so I wanted to do a little bit of explaining about what my game is and what I plan for it for the future. So my game Finality is this roguelite game where you're stuck in a dungeon, and the whole premise of the game is for you to get out of that dungeon. There's a lot of lore that's going to be in the game that I want to leave out of it for just now, and we can touch on this in a different video. But for now, the basis is for you to get out of the dungeon. It's a lot of combat and a lot of puzzles that are going to stop you from getting out, but ideally, the player will succeed. Or maybe they won't. And that's for you to decide. I want to add a lot of bosses and give you a reason to stay in the dungeon, even though your main goal is to get out. I want it to be fun and free to explore, and that's why I'm making it randomized dungeon. So that's a very light and brief explanation of my game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm having a lot of fun making it. So if you want to see anything more about my game, or if you have any questions, let me know below. Alright, I'll see you in the next devlog. Peace.